And Russian President Vladimir Putin has replaced his defense minister Sergei Shoigu with a civilian and an economist, Andrei Belosov. The move comes amid rising concerns over military spending. Moscow has also dismissed its intelligence chief, Nikolai Patrushev, and this marks the first major military shakeup in the country's security cabinet since its invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Earlier, Belosov served as the first deputy prime minister. As per Putin, he has been chosen over a need for growing innovations at the war front. Citing military spendings, the Kremlin has revealed that it was approaching levels last recorded during the Cold War era. Well, the move is a clear indication that Putin is seeking to align the economy with war efforts. Before the beginning of the war, just 3% of Russia's GDP was slated for defense spendings, and this figure grew to 3.4% in the initial phases of the war. Currently, 6.7% of the GDP is focused on defense spendings.
And the second important thing is that today on the battlefield, those who are more open for innovations, more open towards quick implementation, win. That is why it's natural that on the current stage, the president has taken the decision for a civilian to be in charge of the military of defense.
Separately, as per the Kremlin, Shoigu has been appointed as the Secretary of Russia's Security Council. In fact, he is also said to become Putin's deputy in the Russian Military Industrial Commission.
Sergei Shoigu has been released from his role of the Russian defense minister by the president's decree. By another presidential decree, he has been appointed as the secretary of the Russian Security Council.
Russian intelligence chief Nikolai Patrushev has also been made to step down from his duties. Kremlin is yet to elaborate on his ousting and has said that the details will follow in the coming few days. However, the chief's son, Dmitry Patrushev, who was earlier an agriculture minister, has been made the deputy prime minister. As per experts, Putin's choice of having an economist as a defense minister, it mirrors the changing priorities of the Kremlin. The news follows the arrest of Shoigu's close ally and deputy defense minister Timur Avanov. As per Russian media, he had been accused of accepting over $10,000 in bribe. And for more on this, we're now being joined by John Erth from Washington, D.C. Mr. Erth is a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation. Welcome to the show, Mr. Erth. I want to first start by asking you that the Russian President Vladimir Putin has replaced Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and now appointed him as the Secretary of the Security Council. What kind of bearing will this have in Russia's war with Ukraine, as this is one of the most significant changes that Putin has made since Russia invaded Ukraine?
I think there are two important considerations here. The first is the time. This change is being made immediately after Putin officially began his fifth term in office. So I think it's probably something that was in the works for some time. But with the election earlier in the spring, Putin did not want to give any hint of instability at a critical time. So he's waited until all of the ceremonies are over and he's secure in his office for another term before he made these changes. The second thing to consider is that one does not change one's team if things are going well. So this is an indication that certainly Putin, as well as probably many of the other leaders in Russia, are not pleased with the way the war is going, and they think that it can be run better. Shoigu and Patrushev were two of the key people in planning and executing the invasion of Ukraine and conducting the war that's been going on for more than 2 years. So their change at this time indicates that Putin thinks that it can be done better, and he thinks he has somebody who can do it better.
Right, Mr. Erth, you speak of the timing of the replacement of the defense minister. Just to follow up on that, Shoigu was defense minister since 2012. For 12 years, he was defense minister of Russia and he was spearheading the war in Ukraine. The question being that why was he replaced right now after already being in job for 2 years? That is, that he started spearheading the invasion of Ukraine.
I think that after 2 years of war and Russia generally not being able to achieve its military objectives, the decision was that it was time for a change in leadership. That change was not going to come with the change in the presidency, who was ultimately the commander-in-chief. So it was at the next level. Two of the key people in planning and conducting the war have been replaced.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Erth, for taking our time and joining us here on WION with your insights.
You're welcome.